Hey guys, today I've got a viewer requested comparison video between the Saucony Endorphin Pro and the Adidas Adizero Adios Pro. Before we get into the comparison today, why is it that running shoe companies just don't seem to be able to produce enough of their race shoes fast enough for people to buy them? You know, the fastest shoes on the market. Why is it that they just can't manufacture them quick enough? They produce so many of the daily shoes that they can't seem to discount them enough to clear them off the shelves. But then there's so few of those top models that people want that people are left cash in hand, just waiting for them. It's a strange world. Then people have to go to places like StockX or eBay to try and pick up a pair. Certainly this one, it's hot property right now. A viewer's requested this video, a comparison between two shoes that are right at the top of the tree. The Adizero Adios Pro and the Saucony Endorphin Pro. The Adidas shoe comes in at 170 Earth credits, if you can find it that is, and the Endorphin Pro's a little more, 20 more in fact, at 190 Earth credits. There is a bit of a weight difference between these two. The Endorphin Pro comes in at 251 grams in my UK size 11, and the Adizero Adios Pro at 278 grams in my UK size 11.5. So do bear that in mind, guys. I do go up half a size in Adidas shoes. On the screen now, I'll put some of the measurements for the UK 8.5. As you can see, they're quite vastly different. Certainly in the heel stack there's some real differences there. I've tried my best to measure the heel stack in my pair of the Adidas Adizero Adios Pro, and even if you take into account this sort of top layer of the midsole here, kind of discount that, you're still looking at about 43 millimeters, which is vast. The midsole does seem to sort of cup round the back of the foot, so you've got to get rid of that top section. It's very hard to tell really, unless you've got some sort of special laser. And we haven't got anything like that around here. We're out in the country. We'll start with the uppers first. You all know that I love the upper on the Adidas Adizero Adios Pro and the Adizero Pro 2. It's basically the same upper, right? So if I love one, I love both of them. It's just really fitting, comfortable, and more configurable than a Moonpig greetings card. Those extra eyelets aren't there to let the light in, you know, and I urge you to give them a whirl to improve the fit further. This will be the only lockdown that you'll be thinking about. The solar mesh material in the upper is very strong, but also flexible. It's shapely, but also soft. It's very strange, a mixture of different feelings for your foot. And the tongue setup here is very original and innovative. It's only sewed into one side of the shoe, and the other side has this sort of almost like a neoprene type elastic material to kind of hold it round your foot. Why nobody's thought of that before, I do not know. For me, this is the best upper on a running shoe in 2020. The Saucony Endorphin Pro upper is far more traditional in feel and structure, in fact. Exceptionally breathable, which is probably not what you want right now in the cold depths of winter. I think those after a more traditional feel to their running shoe will probably opt for the Endorphin Pro. They've kept it to the absolute minimum here, just with a few overlays. Zilch in the heel though. I know a few people have run into problems there. Well, they've just had no structure and it's caused some lockdown issues for them. And some heel slip. I haven't experienced that though. I do love the little suede effect piece on the tongue too. Hey, if people are allowed to like heel tabs, then I'm allowed to like the little suede effect piece. I think the Adidas shoe has the edge for me in terms of upper, with its careful implementation and minimalist design, which is like nothing else out there right now. The Adidas Adizero Adios Pro takes it for the upper crown. Midsole now. Very different midsole foams in these two shoes, with plates and rods and all sorts of shenanigans going on. This pink beast, of course, has the Lightstrike Pro material in the midsole. And it just always reminds me of packing material, I have to be honest. That's the first thing that Mrs. EDDBUD said to me when she first held this shoe. Just said it feels like something that you'd pack, I don't know, eggs or something in, maybe a telly or a microwave oven or something like that. We've of course got that part plate in the rear of the shoe, and then those energy rods which are supposed to be like the bones of your foot in the mid to forefoot. Personally, I think the shoe needs a little bit of time to break in. As you become more experienced with the shoe, you can harness its various facets. You can grasp its potential like a brand new year. So do be aware of that. If you get the shoe, it does need a few runs to break it in. This one only wants to live at tempo or threshold pace for me it's not a shoe I would want to wear to do some slower miles. So 7 minutes 30 seconds per mile or upwards. I'll pop a conversion on the screen because people get really upset about that. Over here in the UK, we use miles a lot. That's kind of our thing, but I appreciate that there's lots of people that live in other places, so I'll put the kilometre conversion up there for you. Glad we got that straightened out, guys. So be prepared to hold this one back for your tempo or your threshold efforts or your races whenever they happen, of course. P-backs based midsole material here. It's denser, but it certainly still delivers quite a propulsive and cushioned ride. It's no slouch in the response department as well. You can talk to the shoe and it responds to you, like you talk to it with your foot by running faster. That's what I mean. I certainly found that it held up really well over the miles. It didn't lose any of that pop. It still feels just like it did the day I took it out of the box. I wouldn't suggest that either of these shoes feels particularly aggressive in terms of the ride, but I feel that the Saucony midsole's perhaps a little bit more versatile, perhaps at different paces. A broader range of paces, I suppose it fits. You can't put it into one pigeonhole. It's really weird. Where does that come from, pigeonholes? Why would you want to put things in pigeonholes? Unless it was a pigeon, of course, that you wanted to organise. You had many pigeons. You know, it's like, why do you need a shoe rack if you've just got one pair of shoes? You don't, do you? That reminds me of Wayne's World. I think if I had to choose one shoe though out of the two, I think perhaps the Adizero Pro actually fits my running style a little better. It's a close one here though, I'll probably call it a tie. Outsoles next. Quite different approaches here, as you can see. The Adizero Adios Pro uses a very thin slither of rubber in the forefoot and then thinner slices around the heel. I found that the more you use the shoe, the better the grip gets. It's a little bit like a guitar. The more and more you play it, the better it feels in your hand. I'm just going to do the touch test. Do you know, it feels a little bit like, imagine a cat's tongue, but not quite as smelly, or wet for that matter, but on the bottom of your shoe. When you first take it out of the box, you really can't quite understand how it's going to work, but on road, I'm telling you now, it's a good one. XT900. Sounds like some sort of android or robot of destruction, but instead, we get carbon rubber of road destruction. This stuff resists wear better than a phenolic resin pool ball. But in wet conditions, unfortunately, these slats really fail to live up to my expectations. They just lack a little bit of traction in wet conditions, unfortunately. But every cloud has a silver lining. It means that Saucony can look to improve that in the second version of the shoe that they will undoubtedly release in 2021. I bet they're doing it right now. I bet there's a man going like this, testing the new version with his finger like that. Hopefully they can reposition the rubber material here a little bit and improve the traction. But for me, for outsole, it's a win for the Adizero Adios Pro. It just works in any set of conditions. Value now. So value-wise, the race-winning, PR-setting and record-breaking Adizero Adios Pro is about 20 quid cheaper than the Saucony. Though I would imagine that most runners are saving the Adizero Adios Pro back for when some racing happens, or if they're doing some faster paced training. I can't see anyone using this on a daily basis. It's kind of like gold dust as well, so you don't want to wear it out too quick. Fingers crossed that we can actually do some racing this year, right? I think the Saucony though, for another 20 Earth credits, is a good shout for value. There's almost no degradation whatsoever to this shoe, and I feel it's just got a slightly broader use case. I think a lot more people will get on with this shoe, whereas they might find the Adizero Adios Pro a little strange underfoot. I noticed earlier you can actually buy them directly from Saucony right now in a couple of colourways, although sizing's a little limited. So I guess if you're a potential customer, this is the one you might go for, because you can actually buy it right now. I think if versatility is a big attribute to you as a runner, the Endorphin Pro is probably the winner of this category. So this one gets the value crown for me. I think the Adidas Adizero Adios Pro takes it 3-2 in terms of crowns today. It's certainly top in the upper and outsole department. We had a tie for midsole. In terms of value, I think the Saucony just sneaks it. What are your views on these two shoes? Do you prefer one over the other? Make sure you give me the triple dog dare truth, Ruth. Let me know your comments down below. A quick musical interlude for you. For me, one of the best collaborations ever recorded is the sound of McCalmont and Butler. I featured this one back, some time ago in the musical interlude, but I want to talk about it again. You put the brilliant voice of David McCalmont together with the amazing guitar playing and songwriting of Bernard Butler, and you get some fantastic tracks. So this album was originally released back in 1995, and it features that fantastic track, Yes. You've probably heard that one, a bit of a Phil Spector wall of sound type affair, with huge drums, brilliant guitar, fantastic strings, and an incredible vocal performance. They bring things down a little bit on track 4, which is called Although, which has the most beautiful guitar solo. It's almost like drizzling honey over some cornflakes with the bowl filled with fresh milk. It's just this liquid tone that's just superb. I really love track 6 called Disappointment, which is just a real stomper, and a real nice ballad. Track 9 is called Tonight, which has some beautiful chord progressions, and I really love the sentiment of the track as well. They finished the album off with You Do, which is very similar in terms of the structure to the lead track, Yes. I think actually the progressions are just changed to minors. It's a really wonderful song. Again, an amazing vocal performance. Beautiful production on this record. It's raw, it's natural and exciting. There's no bells or whistles, just great music. Do go and check that one out. The sound of McCalmont and Butler. Okay, it's about time for me to mosey off into the sunset. Thanks for watching today, guys. I very much appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications of when I launch those new videos. And it really does help the channel out if you give this video a thumbs up like and share this video with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you